Thanks for tuning in to my show Unbreakable with Chris Chamasairos, where I talk about politics, sports, and entertainment to keep everyone well-rounded. What's going on in the world before our eyes? Only the truth will be told on this channel. If you don't like the truth because your feelings are hurt by it, do not watch this channel. So let's jump right into the first story. Today, Rodney Hinton Jr. had his bail hearing. Of course, there was pandemonium in the courtroom. Everybody was going crazy, losing their minds. For all of you that don't know, his son Ryan Hinton was killed by the police the other day. He was in a stolen car with illegal weapons, ran from the police, ends up dead. And what does Mr. Rodney Hinton Jr. decide to do? He decides to take his vehicle, run over a police officer, murder him, and guess what? That police officer wasn't even the officer that killed his son. That was a retired police officer that had nothing to do with the situation. His name was Deputy Larry Henderson, a Hamilton County Sheriff. And you know what the craziest part of this story is? This. When Rodney Hinton Jr.'s son was killed, he went down to the police station. They showed him the body cam footage. His son was in a stolen car. And here, let me clear this up because there's already going around on Black Twitter that the car wasn't stolen. There was just missed payments on the car. First of all, number one, his co-defendants in the case were charged with driving in a stolen vehicle. They're not making up the charge. And even if the vehicle wasn't paid for 2 or 3 years, when it's time to be repoed and you don't return the car, it gets reported as a stolen car. So, of course, instead of taking accountability, we're going to hear every excuse in the world. This is what you get when you don't make payments on a car. The man was protecting, the king was protecting his seed. The kid was in a stolen car, had illegal guns with his friends, was told to get out of the vehicle, and instead of complying, ran away from the police, decided to drop the gun, pick it up, and as he picks it up, he gets shot. And now we have to hear how Rodney Hinton Jr. is the father of the year. 4 felony convictions, all for assault. The reason why this young man, Ryan Hinton, is dead is because his father is a complete failure as a man and as a father and doesn't teach his kid anything about accountability. That's why he's dead. He's not dead because of the police. He's dead because his father failed in life. And what do you think this lowlife's attorney is claiming? He's claiming that Rodney Hinton Jr. is not a cop killer. Really? He just murdered a cop? No, he's mentally ill. So now the king, who was saving his seeds and was holding his chin high because all these racist cops were trying to intimidate him, now he's mentally ill, according to him and his attorney. Go figure. See, everybody's a tough guy until it's time to see the judge. I say that about everybody. These mafia guys, so-called mafia guys. If you're in the mafia in 2025, you might as well just say you're a clown. All these gangsters, all these gangs. As soon as I know you have to be with a group of people to think you're tough, I know you're not tough. All right? Let's stick on the topic. That's a different video. But this is where we are as a society. Everybody's this tough guy gangster. They're going down like Tupac. They're going down in flames of glory, for their seed and this and that. And I'm going to be a real street, you-know-what. And then it's time to see the judge and it's, oh, I'm crazy. Oh, he did it. She did it. I didn't do it. It was somebody else. We see this time and time again. All these so-called gangsters, they're all gangsters, so it's time to see the judge. Then it's, oh, my father left me. I was abused. I got mental illness. See, take it on the chin. See, if he was really that guy, like Black Twitter says that he is, and he was, and whatever, he'd be like, yeah, I did it. You know why I did it? Because boom, 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 boom. But now he's going to play the victim. And I wouldn't expect anything else because he's a coward. He's a failure and a coward. And you know what I really believe? I don't think this had anything to do with his son at all. I think this had to do with him. See, he was not accomplishing anything in life whatsoever. So he'll forever be known in certain circles as this martyr who stood up for his child after his child was murdered by these racist cops. And he was dad of the year. You mean dad of the year with the 5 felonies, whose son was in a stolen car with illegal guns? That dad? That caring father? Now, let's put things in perspective. Everybody makes mistakes. But let's clear something up. Let's say you are that dad that's got 3 felonies and you finally turned your life around. Wouldn't you do everything possible to make sure your son wasn't living a lifestyle that you know leads to nowhere? Wouldn't you know after being in trouble all those times that it starts with you? After watching that tape of his son, what he did, and after being in trouble that many times, a normal person, a good father, would say to himself, yeah, I get why my son was killed. See, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. But not in 2025. Not the liberal way, not the Democratic way. Rodney Hinton Jr., he's the victim. His poor child is the victim. You know, it'll be the narrative, right? This is the narrative that Ryan Hilton was this good kid on his way to church, hard worker. He never did anything wrong. He was in a car that wasn't paid, missed a couple payments. He didn't run from the cops. He didn't have illegal guns. He didn't point the weapon at the... Listen, if you watch the video and you try to tell me that his son wasn't at fault for his own death, you're just an effing idiot. You're an idiot. That's what you are. You're a racist idiot that doesn't know how to take accountability for your own actions. See, I'd have more respect for this guy, his son, and the entire family if they just said, you know what? Yeah, he did it. This is the reason why he did it, and now he's going to pay the price. That's respectable. I can at least have this much respect for you, even though I don't agree with what you did. And this will be the same effing clown that goes to jail, because this happens all the time, and he can't do his time, meaning he'll blame the officers there. He'll be nothing but a problem. Every time they tell him to do something, he won't do it. He's an inmate. He's not a convict. See, convicts, even though they're messed up and they're in prison, they're doing their time, they know that they put themselves there so they conduct themselves like men. This maggot isn't a man. You could say, oh, he protected his seed and murdered the guy that did that to his... No, he didn't. He killed an innocent man that had nothing to do with it. And then he was showed the tape why. And then he still, his liberal, low IQ brain still couldn't take responsibility because he failed as a father. He failed his kid. His kid is dead because he's a failure. Let's watch this bond hearing. Yeah, so proud of himself. Piece of shit.
Okay, so let's try to armchair quarterback what we believe is going on here right now. So Hinton was escorted by police from...
What we believe is going on here, you know what's going on here? Zero self-control or accountability for your behavior. But I'm sure this is some liberal reporter that'll make excuses for this piece of garbage.
Claremont County into the courtroom right here. There was some sort of commotion right outside with police officers then quickly escorting Hinton back out, likely for his own safety. His attorney remaining in the courtroom there with the judge. So this, of course, the man accused of hitting and killing that retired sheriff's deputy, making his no bond appearance. Okay, now we're listening outside.
See, like, everybody thinks that the cops are just totally out of their minds or just killing innocent people, which is a total lie. And then on top of it, now you have the officers here that have to show kind of restraint because they know they're under the gun. Anybody else doing this would have been dragged out of here by their heads. But we're going to treat Robert Hinton Jr. and his family like the victims here. And you know why I think that his brother's making this big scene? Not because he gives one shit about Robert Hinton Jr., because he wants a GoFundMe page too. Because that'll be the narrative on Black Twitter and all these other places. It'll be, oh, his brother is, look at that poor man. He's grieving a brother and a nephew, and let's raise money. Yeah, you could do it. I don't care. You could give him whatever money you want. But don't expect me not to call out his real reasons for being so emotional. Well, if you're so concerned about your 4-time felon brother, which he is, and your nephew who is driving in a stolen car with illegal guns, pointing the guns at the police, you failed as a brother too. Because shouldn't you give your brother some advice to stay out of trouble? Hey, look, people are going to do what they do at the end of the day. You could give your brother the best advice in the world. He could still go out and do whatever he does. But his behavior shows me a lot right here. You know why? Because he knows his brother is dead wrong. No pun intended. He knows his nephew is wrong. But he'll still show up and act a fool. Act a fool. And you know why he's acting a fool? To make it all about him. And then that'll be the narrative on social media so he can get a GoFundMe account. It's just an effing disgrace. Does anybody care at all about Larry Henderson, the retired police officer that lost his life, that had nothing to do with the situation? Oh, who cares? You know what? He was Caucasianoid. He deserved it. He deserved to die like that in the street. Like a roadkill on the side of the road. You make me sick. Oh, you make me. I'll tell you. The logic in this country is just sickening. And the whole entire Hinton family, when you watch what his family came out, his mother came out and said, people don't understand black culture. And people need to be educated about black culture. That's what his mother said on video. I know plenty of black people that get up every day, go to work, have no problems with the police, don't use Ebonics, talk normal English, don't look to be insulted at every turn. I know quite a few black people like that. Meanwhile, her grandson was running from the cops with illegal guns in a stolen car, and her other son just murdered an innocent police officer, and now her other son shows up to court acting a fool. You're in no position to preach to anybody. President Trump goes on record today and say he has an earth-shattering announcement for American citizens, and knowing President Trump, I guarantee it puts more money in American citizens' pockets. All Americans, every race, every color. So I can't wait. President Trump, his first 120 days in office, has done more for the country than Democrats have done in the last 100 years of destroying the country. So let's let President Trump tell you how he is Santa Claus and he's coming to town.
And those days are over. Those days are over. And, I said before in our meeting with the new and very talented Prime Minister of Canada that we have some very big announcement to make. It's not about trade. It's about something else, but it's going to be a truly earth-shattering and positive development for this country and for the people of this country. And that'll take place sometime within the next few days.
Victory as usual. I love everybody. Never bet against President Trump, ever. He's a winner. He wins. Everything he does, he wins. And he's here to make all Americans' lives better. All of us. Every color. Every religion. Not just some people. And if anybody tells you different, they're a liar. They're lying to you. It's just a lie. When you look at President Trump's productivity, what he's done for America, the border, economy, gas prices down, if you don't like him, you're the racist. So Jasmine Crockett, she gives a speech at a graduation. And of course, she's doing this whole new act that she does. She's never spoke like this before. Now she's doing this whole ghetto fabulous routine. And she tells the students basically to pick up chairs and hit Caucasianoids with when you don't like what they say. I wouldn't expect anything less from this classless piece of garbage. And I love that she's the new face of the Democratic Party, because if you have this much common sense, you will vote for a Republican every single time. I want her to run for president because she'll lose in a landslide. I want her to run for president the next 300 elections until I'm no longer here on planet Earth. So we'll have a Republican president my entire life.
Nor will it be for you. But I dare you to dream, to do the impossible.
Oh, boy.
You see, and I'm going to finish up. I got some more remarks, but I got to do what I do, which is flow.
I got to do what I do, which is flow. Like, she's really, like, in love with herself, feeling herself. Like, she is totally clueless how trashy she looks all the time. I'm not talking about her physical appearance. Like, what the garbage that comes out of her mouth. She's just beyond a garbage pail.
The reason that I say that life for me ain't never been no crystal stair, because it's the reality of what it is to be black in America. It is the reality that we have.
The reality to be black in America is this. Hey, Jasmine, do you know that in 2025, there's never been more black millionaires, business owners, entrepreneurs, or black employees in important positions in their companies? Do you know that? And guess what, Jasmine? All around the world, black people don't get the same opportunities like they do in America. So instead of taking a dump on America, you should be saying that America is the greatest country in the world. But of course you won't, because nothing is ever good enough for a race-baiting piece of garbage like Jasmine Crockett.
I always face is black people in America. But when people ask me, why is it that you do this job? It is because I tap into the blood of the ancestors. And listen, I didn't go to a...
Hold on. She's getting millions of dollars in kickbacks and from special interest groups, and she claims that she's doing it for the blood of her ancestors. It's just so exhausting already. When she came into politics, she was worth absolutely nothing. She makes $200,000 a year or whatever, $150,000 a year. Now she's worth like $13 million. How do you think she got that money? From bribes and special interest groups. But she's doing it for the blood of her ancestors. Sure, Jasmine.
HBCU for undergrad. So let me tell you, I didn't get to sit in classrooms or sit on the ground where I know that there were plenty of people that had to plan to protect not only their present, but to protect their future. And I am here to tell you that if you are waiting on somebody to come and save you, they are not coming to save you. You are the person that you have been waiting on. Listen, graduates, every movement that we have ever had has been led.
Like, one person clapped in the audience. Even at HBCU, all black school, they're just like, the audience is rolling their eyes like, do we have to listen to her? It's comical.
By young people. I know that y'all look at me and y'all think that I'm young, but just know this. I am older than Medgar was when he was assassinated. I am older than Martin was when he was assassinated. I am older than Malcolm when he was assassinated. So if you think that I'm young, I'm here to tell you that y'all's work is cut out for you, because there's so much that stands before you. And some will tell you that there is a hill for you to climb. In fact, there is a poem that I oftentimes like to refer to. It is by Amanda Gorman. And some states wanted to say that she couldn't have her writings available as well. Florida.
Oh, yeah. Florida is now the 1800s. She's just a total piece of garbage. That's what she is. She's just garbage.
And it goes, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to be it.
Not paying
My
1 ounce of
charge
attention
to
to her.
you is to understand that your moment is not in the future. Your moment is now. This country is relying on each and every one of you to walk into your purpose and to walk in greatness with your head held high. There are going to be people that tell you that you don't belong, and I am here to tell you over and over and over that you...
Oh, like, the whole like, just who's gonna tell a young black person that goes for a job you don't belong here? Who's gonna say that in 2025? Nobody. Nobody's gonna tell a young black person that goes for a job you don't belong here. I mean, are you referring to Austin Metcalf asking Carmelo Anthony to move out of the wrong tent that he was sitting under? Is that what you're saying? You know, each team has their own tent that you're supposed to sit under. But Carmelo Anthony just thought, you know what? I'll do whatever the F I want. If you ask me to move, I'll just stab you. But hey, no big deal, right?
Absolutely belong. There are people that are going to tell you that there is not a table in which there is a seat for you. But I am here to remind you of Montgomery and those folding chairs. Let me tell you that we know how to use a chair, whether we pulling it up or we doing something else with it. Let me be the
so she's telling black people if they don't hear what they like to just pick up a chair and hit people with it. And she's saying hit white people with chairs if they say things that you don't like. But I wouldn't expect anything less from trash bag Jasmine Crockett. She's trash. This whole new ghetto fabulous routine that she's doing, it's all an act. She went to Harvard or Princeton. She's never talked like this a day in her life until she's the new face of the Democratic Party. Congratulations, Democrats. You love trash. So the big story in sports today is George Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers, wide receiver, was traded to the Dallas Cowboys. And I am a Steeler fan. I have my own channel, Steel City Football 412. If you ever want to watch Pittsburgh Steelers only sports and football, that's what I do. So I'm very familiar with George and his antics. He's a locker room cancer. Nothing is ever good enough for George. And Coach Tomlin finally had enough and said goodbye. And they decided to trade George to the Dallas Cowboys. Now George can take his act down to Jerry World and be part of that clown show and that circus. So the Pittsburgh Steelers definitely won in this trade because I think that George Pickens will be out of the NFL in less than 3 years. The Pittsburgh Steelers received a 2026 third-round draft pick, a 2027 fifth-round pick, and a 2026 sixth-round pick. The Pittsburgh Steelers absolutely won here. Coach Tomlin did the right thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, and I couldn't be happier. The Met Gala also went on. You know, it's just a bunch of Hollywood weirdos, men dressed like women, men dressed as pianos. The filth and degeneracy of Hollywood, and that's what it is. It's just a bunch of weirdos who got too much money, too much time on their hands, and they wonder why the average person doesn't give a shit about anything that they create. They're unrelatable. They suck the oxygen out of the room every time they talk. They're just demonic, and that's what goes on. This is what this is. Let's look at some of the pictures. Wow. Looks so entertaining, like a place I really want to be. Oh my God, if I'm not there, poor me. Man with a pocketbook, man with 10-inch lifts on. I don't know what these other idiots are wearing. Who cares? I have no clue. I'm going to end it with this. So in Times Square yesterday, we had a bunch of illegal Venezuelan gang members who decided that they were going to attack police officers. And let me tell you about this trash and this scum. They think Americans are stupid because we have decency, compassion, and generosity. So they come here and they think you're some dumb American that they're just going to rob, sexually assault, and murder. And this is the attitude that you get. This is the thanks that you get. And these are the people that Democrats put before you. So these are the people that Democrats will fly to other countries for, but won't go to the Bronx to campaign. Let me tell you something. Americans, you need to get sick of this garbage. If you see cops being attacked by garbage vermin like this, you need to help the police and beat the crap out of this trash and garbage. Enough of this shit already. They're not even in the country 6 months. They're attacking cops, robbing, stealing, and doing everything else. And it's from Democrats, oh, poor them. Tom Homan, get them all the hell out of here now. All of them. If you're illegal, you shouldn't be in the United States of America.
They're illegal aliens, okay? That's what they are. But the three of them who are still on the loose, your message to them tonight?
We're coming for them. And these are the type, I want to explain something. These are the type of people that AOC brags while I'm educating people to their constitutional rights. We all know what she's doing. She's educating illegal alien criminals how to invade law enforcement. But you know, now I'm going to do a little education myself. You don't want to open the door. You don't want to answer a question. You don't want to help us with the travel documents and get you removed. That's a violation of Title 8, United States Code 1253. It is a crime, and we're going to start prosecuting those crimes tomorrow. So if you got a final order and you want to hinder your removal, you want to put roadblocks up and not cooperate, you want to hide, you want to not open the door, then the agency's going to start prosecuting you criminally. Then after you get out of jail from that prosecution, then we'll deport you. Game's over. We're going to look for these public safety threats, and we're going to take them off the streets in New York and every other sanctuary city. As a matter of fact, every sanctuary city, we're going to triple the workforce. We're going to flood the zone with officers. If we can't arrest them in the jail, we'll arrest them in the community. If we can't arrest them in the community, we'll arrest them at their work site. We're going to triple work site enforcement operations. We're going to flood the zone. We're going to take these public safety threats off the streets with your help or without your help.
Now, speaking of AOC, Tom, she actually mentioned you in a town hall last week. Watch.
When we first did one of these seminars, Tom Homans, then actor.
I don't even want to.
I'm so tired of this trash. Alexandria Cortez is total trash and a garbage dumpster. You know, as she lives in Martha's Vineyard or some $1 million mansion where she'll never be in harm's way ever in her life. She is total trash, just like the rest of the Democrats that promote this garbage and think that it's okay. Just like the police officers that won't cooperate with ICE to go get these illegals. You kind of set yourself up for this. Complete trash. That's what this is. These type of vermin are born from trash, and they're taught by their trash parents that Americans are dumb and weak and stupid because we have compassion and kindness and generosity. Something that these lowlifes aren't capable of. Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable.